This is how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I mean, I know it should have happened in a bath with salt grains from the Dead Sea, Enya playing, me loving my woman's self. I know the story. Vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is only the internalized repression and hatred of the patriarchal culture. It isn't real. Pussies unite. I know all of it. Like, if we'd grown up in a culture where we were taught fat thighs were beautiful, we'd all be pounding down milkshakes and Krispy Kremes, lying on our backs, spending our days thigh expanding. But we didn't grow up in that culture. I hated my thighs, and I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who looked at it once, and from that moment on wished I hadn't. It made me sick. I pitied anyone who had to go down there. In order to survive, I began to pretend there was something else between my legs. I imagined furniture. Cozy futons with little cotton comforters, little velvet cushions or leopard rugs, or pretty things like silk handkerchiefs, quilted pot holders, or place settings. I got so accustomed to this, I lost all memory of having a vagina. Whenever a man was inside me, I would picture him inside of a mink-lined muffler or a Chinese bowl. Then, I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I ever met. He was tall and thin and nondescript and wore khaki tan clothes. Bob didn't like spicy food or listen to Prince. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer, he spent time in the shade. Bob wasn't very funny or articulate or mysterious. He wasn't mean or unavailable. He wasn't self-involved or charismatic. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up my change I dropped on the deli floor. When he handed me back my quarters and pennies and his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. I went to bed with him. That's when the miracle occurred. You see, it turns out that Bob loved vaginas. He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they felt, the way they tasted, the way they smelled, but most importantly, the way they looked. He had to look at them. The first time we had sex, he told me he had to see me. "I'm right here," I said. "No, you," Bob said. "I have to see you." "Okay, turn on the light," I said, thinking he was a weirdo and freaking out in the dark. He turned on the light, and then he said, "Okay, I'm ready. Ready to see you." "Right here," I said, "I'm right here." "No, you," Bob said. "I need to see you." He began to undress me. "What are you doing, Bob?" I said. "I need to see you," he said. "No need," I said. "Just do it." Bob continued. He would not stop. I wanted to throw up and die. "This is awfully intimate," I said. "Can't you just do it?" "No," Bob said. "It's who you are. I need to look." I held my breath. He looked and looked. He got breathy and his face changed. He didn't look so ordinary anymore. He looked like a hungry beast. "You're so beautiful," Bob said. "You're elegant and deep and innocent and wild." "You saw all that there?" I said. It was like he read my palm. "I saw that," he said, and more, much, much more. He stayed looking for almost an hour, as if he were studying a map, observing the moon, staring into my eyes, but it was my vagina. In the light, I watched him looking at me, and he looked so excited, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get wet and turned on. I began to see myself the way that he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious, like a great painting or a waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid. He wasn't grossed out. I began to swell, began to feel proud, began to love my vagina. And Bob lost himself there, and I was there with him, in my vagina, and we were gone.